What's up, guys? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. Let's get started with a little bit of nice music. I don't have anything hand-picked, so let's enjoy some John Parfit. Always a good choice, right? Bright Lights. Listen to this. Oh, yeah. So, guys, it is 9:02 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles, Friday, March 26th, 2021. And I have calls to get to. I like this song. I try to sing along to it sometime, and then I stop myself. Black crime is happening. It is true. I have more on the immigration madness that Biden is purposely, and I say Biden, I mean whoever's running him, right? Purposely letting go out of control. Censorship on the rise. Bernie Sanders pretending to be reasonable, saying he's not comfortable with Trump's Twitter ban. Democrats are pushing for more censorship. A shutdown insanity. Kids are attempting suicide like crazy. 4 times as many is what I heard, according to Canada's public outlet there. And the liberals are justifying the shutdowns for control freaks. There was a black woman who got dragged out of a Georgia governor's office because she was trying to interfere with a proceeding. Not unlike the so-called insurrection. And there is, of course, the big corporations growing all pro-LGBTQIA, pro the worst blacks, and anti-Christian and anti-white. By the way, Biden is a cheater. He uses cheat sheets. And I have some interesting footage and clips. The former presidents, the low-energy former presidents who hate Trump and hate America, are pushing vaccines. Makes me leery when they do that. I'm naturally a very trusting person. I trust vaccines. But when they push that stuff, it makes me question my naivety. Is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, Meave says, I have the album. Are you referring to the John Parfit album? Bright Lights? He has a few items on his discography. Anyway, all that and your super chats, your phone calls, you can super chat through dlive.tv/The Hake Report, trovo.live/The Hake Report, if you've been following for more than a day. I got raided like crazy, so I have some restrictions on that. And of course, streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. My review, I'm still pending review on the YouTube channel. Meaning I'm trying to get re-monetized on YouTube. Not trying very hard, obviously. No, it's not John Parfait. It's John Parfit. Parfitt. But you're right, there's no H in John for John Parfit. Okay, guys, let's fade this out and get started. It's 9:05 a.m. here. So let's get right on with the show.
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
Hey guys, we're gonna be talking about the madness going on in the world and in your own lives. Wouldn't that be fun? You guys can call in 888-775-3773. Let's have some fun. It's Friday. Don't you agree?
Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
So, shout out to the original Hake Report theme song creator, AJ Gallardo. I shout him out almost every week now. He's the one who wrote and recorded that song up in Big Bear. That was my first solo show. I interviewed that guy, a friend of mine from high school. and a talented musician. And shout out to, what's that guy's name? Trevor Wesley, who did the newer version, the more blasty version that I play during the week. It's shorter, in which I only have time to say, hey, guys! And, of course, thanks to that other guy who some call a Fed, DJ Hardmouse, for your version. That's cool, too. I've played it once or twice on this show. Trovo sounds like what Joel would name his son, says Jim Eagle. Ouch. You want to have a response for that? Somebody already named themselves Jim Eagle.
The disrespect.
Yep. Joel Friday here gets dragged. I noticed that women, and when I say women, I don't only mean the females, but are very judgmental. They will judge you as good if they're impressed with you. They'll judge you as bad if they're depressed with you. And that's why it's bad for them to vote, because they're so judgmental. It's not just emotional, it's judgmental. Don't get too into politics or religion. I like them being naive and humble and ignorant and quiet. I mean, I like talking too. But again, I don't just mean females. I heard a wise man one time say something along the lines of this. Do not be too excited about a person either way, against or for. Say they say or do something right. Don't get too pumped up. I remember I was on Facebook in the early days when I was first starting to get into politics again, you know, because I liked listening to stuff about politics as a kid. And then I saw people getting real ugly about it later. And so I kind of stayed away from it because I didn't like the anger that came out. And I didn't want to lash out in anger myself and embarrass myself. And then I started to get into it again once Jesse Lee Peterson just broke it down to simple right and wrong. Immigration. Is it right for these illegals to be coming in here, taking jobs and stuff from the blacks and the other people who need jobs and come in here illegally? Is it right? And he's asking people, and they refuse to. They refuse to answer the question. And it just showed me, no, it's not right. And these issues of politics are very simple, right versus wrong. And so I started getting into it a little bit more. And I remember on Facebook seeing Lindsey Graham post something smart or a smart quote attributed to him. So I'm like, oh, I like Lindsey Graham. And then pretty quickly I found out, he's kind of a rhino, kind of weak. So that was a lesson for me, not to think too highly of someone who says something smart. And you see all these performative politicians acting like they're tough. Give me a break. No longer impressed. Even Trump, as JLP says, keep a distance between yourself and him. Don't start identifying with him. Don't get all excited about Rudy Giuliani or Donald Trump or Nick Fuentes or Jesse Peterson or whoever you're into, Owen Benjamin, right? Nor think too low of people who disappoint you. Don't be all judgy, right? Female-minded. Anyway, before I get to calls, I was thinking about this gun control thing. You know how during the Jesse Lee Peterson show, if you caught it, in the beginning of the second hour, Jesse Lee Peterson kept me on, and he's all, what did you say over the break? And I said, if they're letting the felons vote, meaning that they being the Democrats, why aren't we pushing for felons to have guns? Well, of course, many of them maybe have no business having guns because they are violent people, but many of them are not violent, and there are many decent people. Who's pushing for the right to carry guns? The people, the evil people, are going after our best people, trying to take the guns away from them. Did you notice that? Such as, like, I know nothing about the Oath Keepers, except in principle, they want to keep their oath to protect the Constitution, right? And so that principle stuck with me. I'm like, I like that principle. Maybe it attracts weirdos. I have no idea. Or maybe it attracts sensible people who are just falsely smeared by the media. I think that might be much more likely. Militia people. You get a few guys who are into the conspiracy stuff or a little too into this other stuff. But even those people, even among those people, they remain very disciplined. In fact, Chris points out, White Chris, all movements, no matter what, attract weird people. That is so true. And the bigger the movement, the more weird people there are to pull from. And you notice the mainstream media, when it's the right wing, they want to focus on the weirdest of the right-wing weirdos. Or cast the normal people as weirdos, which is really what they do. Oath Keepers is full of feds, says Cheesehead69. Yeah, may well be. But I like the principle. And anything that gets big is going to get full of feds because the feds want control of any populist movement. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, anything that makes it big. The Black Panthers, probably, right? All of those movements, the civil rights movement, because those were sort of populist movements. Populist, I'm just saying, is purely descriptive, meaning many people were popular, right? That's what I mean by populist. I don't really even know the definition. But I'm talking about anything that gets kind of big and trendy. But anyways, there are many people who are called felons who are falsely accused, or the crimes, the people who are defining crimes now are not sane people. There are people who want to charge the Capitol protesters, not just the rioters, but some people were just protesters, maybe in the wrong place at the wrong time. And they want to charge them with felonies and stuff like that. Or look at the attack on men, domestic violence. They call them domestically violent. What's your definition of weird, Hake? I'll get into that later. It's maybe a long answer. I'm not really sure. But thank you, Kid Fairfax. Jib Jab, I think. Over there representing on twitch.tv/The Hake Report. But domestic violence is a smear on men. Who even came up with that word, domestic violence? But they're using that too, I hear. The basic idea, how can you not support defending the Constitution? They're going after the guns because of these mass shootings. Not because of the mass shootings. They're exploiting the hype in order to push a fake agenda. A fake agenda. By a fake agenda, I mean an evil agenda. I was looking at the chat during the Jesse Lee Peterson show when we were talking about all this mess. Asmodor says the 1994 assault weapons ban that Joe Biden pushed, as I mentioned in Hake News, did not stop Columbine, which took place in 1999. 5 years in. Well into the enforcement of that so-called assault weapons ban. The Second Amendment guarantees the right to keep and bear arms. Voting is not guaranteed in the same manner. Did you notice that? It doesn't say shall not be infringed, meaning the right to keep and bear arms and carry arms, guns, shall not be infringed unless you break some list of laws that are passed later, right? Isn't that interesting? And he says, Asmodor says, if you're too dangerous to possess firearms, you shouldn't be free. That's true. They play both sides. They want to let you out, let you vote, let you into so-called society because they feel sorry for you, but then they don't want to let you have guns. And they don't want the decent people to carry guns either. In New Jersey, There was a man who was interviewed multiple times on the Jesse Lee Peterson show when I was producer, who moved after a divorce from Colorado to New Jersey. His mother called the cops, meddling mother called the cops on him. Oh, I'm worried about my son. He may do something to himself. He seems upset. He wasn't going to do anything to himself. The cops pull him over, find the gun stored properly in the moving van or moving truck, and they arrest him in New Jersey. He gets charged and convicted of a felony. He spends some number of months in prison, and it was going to be years, but Rhino fat Governor Chris Christie, who hugged Obama and helped get Obama reelected, he commuted his sentence. But I don't know if to this day he still has that felony. But that is not a felony. Give me a break. And if you get that felony, you cannot carry a gun, according to some. Until the early 20th century, says this man in chat. Statute required that upon release from prison, convicts in Texas were given a $20 gold piece, which was major money back then, a horse, a rifle, and 100 rounds of ammunition. Wow. Makes sense. If you're good enough to get out of prison, you are good enough to be able to defend yourself, especially if you're a felon, you're a convict. You may have enemies on the outside who want to get you. Over on Periscope, Sean said, any misdemeanor assault strips you of 2A, meaning the Second Amendment. Doesn't have to be domestic violence. Wow. Misdemeanor assault. He said, we can have guns after a felony has been expunged. 7 years with a clean record, felony can be expunged in most states. Then they get their gun back. Not just felons, but they're also letting illegals vote. I don't want illegals to have right to guns. Interesting. I think it should only be over violent felonies, he says, if they lose so-called gun rights. Some felonies have nothing to do with guns or violence. So it doesn't make sense to remove their gun rights, says Florida Josh. So anyway, this is just an interesting thing. They want the female things like voting. And I call that a female thing because it's like pushing for people who should have no say to have a say. Because most felons, let's face it, are Democrats. Not sensible people. Anyway. Oh man, there's so much to get to. Let me quickly get to Stephanie in New York. We've been talking about her the past couple of days. She called in a couple of days ago. And then yesterday we were talking about her. So let's give her a shot. Stephanie is the Bagel Queen from New York. And some people call her Bagel Karen. But that's a slur. I shouldn't even be allowed to say that on YouTube. But what's up, Stephanie? How are you? Thanks for holding.
Thank you for having me.
Nice.
Well, first, I just want to say there's a lot of stuff being printed in the media that people are taking from fake Instagram accounts that aren't controlled by me or anyone I know.
Uh-huh.
My only Instagram is the Stephanie Denaro Times, so these quotes that are coming from Instagram accounts from me are not me.
Interesting. Stephanie Denaro _
Times. No, it's just the Stephanie Denaro Times. That's the only one I've got going right now.
Oh, okay. Can you spell it for us? TheStephanie Denarotimes. Times.
Yeah, like the New York Times.
Oh, okay.
And then I also had my original account, Stephanie Denaro, but that was blocked. I got.
Oh, so yours is private. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
people are making like all these Instagram accounts, and I'm just seeing all this stuff being printed that I did not say, and they're saying it's me, but it's coming from these accounts.
That's so ignorant. Yeah, there's one that was linked from New York Post, I think, if I remember right. And it's called Stephanie Denaro _ and it says self-defense, and then it has all these pictures.
Most of the pictures are me from my real account.
Right.
Because I also have my original account, but Instagram put me in jail, and I got out of it, I think, yesterday.
Okay.
But that's disabled now, and I'm just using the one I have for, like, my close friends.
Okay, that's funny because I had this one, and it was linked from the New York Post, so I assumed that it was real. And then it said, all of you hating, and it purports to be you, and it says, all of you hating on me for no reason. Newsflash, I am black. And it says Nigeria, 39%. Mali, it's like your ethnicity estimate.
No, some crazy person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's funny. Got me.
And also, TMZ did an interview with my children's father, so if people want to check that out and get his side of the story, I'm really not going to comment on it.
Okay.
He's crazy. But, yeah, they came out this morning with an interview with him.
Wow. What a mess. All right, so is it exciting for you? Would you rather just lay low, or how are you feeling about it?
Well, when Jesse said yesterday that he admires what I did and standing up for what's right is what matters, I feel like I did the right thing.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
How were you feeling after I talked to you the day before?
You were kind of a buzzkill, I'm not going to lie, but, you know, I'm glad that you let me talk. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Well, I wish you well still. Are you continuing to get death threats?
Yeah, people are saying they're going to do horrible things to my children and that I'm going to die. So, and everyone wants CPS to take my kids. So,
was it a New York Post reporter who showed up at your door, or was it somebody else? Do you know?
It was. Yeah, I had the New York Post, the Daily News, the Daily Mail, Channel 11, Channel 4. A bunch of people showed up.
Wow. It's so silly. It's so shallow, but it is so like. Honestly, it's kind of fun to talk about, but it's so unimportant.
Yeah.
And like I said, just the simple fact that you use the N-word is so exciting to people. You saw how the people reacted in the store. And so it's just a fun issue to talk about. And
I just don't know who Sean King thinks he is, saying that he can say, I'm not white and I can't say a word. Who is he to say what people are? I thought identity of politics are about people claiming their own identities. So,
right.
And then I have freedom of speech. I can say the N-word with the R, with the A, whatever. Like,
right. Did you remember saying it did you say it with an R or with an A?
Look, someone in your chat said, don't be a punk, say the R. And I did enunciate it like that because I was being obnoxious. And the guy was being a dick, my little kid.
Keep it clean, Stephanie. Don't.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But let me just clarify, because you said on my show that not that I honestly care, but just to clarify, just to correct the record, because for some people, did you say it in your mind when you said it, were you picturing that you said it with an A or with an R?
Look, I am a college-educated woman with an English degree, so for me to naturally roll off my tongue, like saying nigga, it sounds weird. So I did say it with the R to be obnoxious.
Okay. All right.
Not to be racist, to be obnoxious.
Why did you say that you'd said it with an A at the end on my?
I guess I was just trying to do damage control. This was all very new 2 days ago, and
Yeah.
Now that I've thought about it, it's like, who cares?
I agree. Who cares?
Somebody said to me, he denied your humanity by telling you to put a mask on, refusing to serve your little kids. So I denied his by saying something that would upset him. Basically.
I know, but an N-word is just a black human being. That's not denying humanity. I mean, it is kind of insulting, like purposely insulting, I guess, since you know that he's going to take it personally.
He slapped me in the face, so I slapped him back verbally. That's basically what it was.
Yeah. I've considered it an honest disagreement between two Americans, and everybody who's butting in could butt out. When you came to me asking me about it, I did feel that you take this activism thing a little overboard, and maybe your ego gets involved. But I like how you're not backing down in terms of, are you on IG? Are you on Twitter too, or was that?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you are on YouTube.
Yeah, I have a YouTube account. Yeah. That I'm commenting on, but I want to say that I do not go into places looking for problems or trying to confront people. That day, my children wanted to get these rainbow bagels that stupid place has, and that's why we went there, to get rainbow bagels.
Yeah.
And this guy could have just very easily have given the kids what they wanted. The security guard let me in and said I could be there without a mask. And then she was standing right next to me in the video. She's the one who kind of instigated it she could have said to me, you can't be here, go.
Yeah.
It wasn't up to the guy serving me to say all this stuff about masks and why can't you wear a mask.
Yeah. Because he pressed the issue by asking you, which is it's not politically correct to push people and challenge them on their medical issue.
Yeah.
If they say they have a medical issue, you're supposed to respect it and not press the issue.
I want to state for the record that my medical issue is that I have beta thalassemia anemia, which is anemia that people from the Mediterranean and North Africa have. So I am actually, my brother did a DNA test. We are actually 13% North African.
Supposedly, right? I'm saying supposedly because I don't know how much I trust these DNA result things.
Yeah.
But
I mean, my dad was very dark, though.
In short, you're Italian, right?
Yes, my dad was all Italian.
Yeah. and you're an Italian with attitude.
Look, these people want to say they're gangster, black people, Spanish people, everyone. They want to be like, oh, gangster this, gangster that, Gotti this, Gambino that. Why is it fine for them to appropriate our culture and we don't care, we love it, that people celebrate our heritage, the mafia, they love it. It's a negative thing, really, to be celebrating that, but it's still, you can turn it around and empower yourselves. Go ahead. You want to do that? Go ahead. Why can't someone...
That's why you said, wasn't that gangster of me to call that guy the B word, A word, N word, and be bold in front of all those people. I hadn't seen the video when you first called me. I didn't see it until later that day. So I was going off of how you told the story.
I understand.
And you said it was the worst thing that you could have done when you called me. You said, I did the worst thing I could have done. I called him a B word, A word, N word.
Well,
what did you mean by that's the worst thing you could have done?
I meant it just sarcastically, like the reaction it's gotten. I didn't mean the worst thing I could have done was probably punched him or something.
Right. Yeah.
Like CPS is saying to me that I shoved people are saying I shoved people. No, I didn't touch anyone. I walked out of the store calmly.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And you told me that Jesse would say that I got what I deserved. That's what I mean, like you were a buzzkill, and I was like, damn, Jesse doesn't like this. And
that just proves that I can't. No. That just proves that I can't predict how JLP would react.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Although maybe he would say, because we didn't ask him whether he thought that you get what you deserve. So I don't know.
You have to break an egg to make an omelet. So.
Explain.
Well, this happens all the time to me in the city with my kids. People attack me like this when I'm walking around with my kids and tell me to put the masks on and say horrible things to me because I won't. And this is just drawing attention to how crazy people are about the mask situation. There's just kids walking around like slaves with the masks on, and it's disgusting to see little children like that. My children are like this rare breed now.
Yeah.
So my thing as a mother is that to stand up for the children, and my children especially, that they're being put through this.
Do you want to talk to her, Joelle? Do you want to talk to Joelle, Stephanie?
Joelle seems to have some kind of resentment towards me. I don't know.
Not resentment. Not resentment.
Yes,
Animus.
just
No.
racial animus.
Oh, gosh.
We're totally kidding. We're totally
I know.
kidding.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, you can talk.
I don't mean any harm about it, Stephanie.
Right.
I think it's just important to be honest entirely about the situation.
Okay.
Because, and I don't know you, you may be, I know nothing about you, so you may have the best intentions, and you may be trying to fight on the side of right, and that was what your mindset was. And I don't knock you for that, but you still have to be honest about the situation. You say sometimes you got to crack an egg to make omelet. I don't quite know what that means, but you said that if he smacks you or he smacked you, so you smacked him back. I mean, there's certain things that we just we have to be smart about. Right now, if you use the N-word, the people who pretend to have power are going to use it against you and smear you. And they're trying to take your kids. And they're trying to take it to a whole new limit, a whole new place that you didn't even intend for it to go, but they have the power to do that. So if we're not smart, they're gonna wipe us clean, and then we thought we were standing up, but was it the smart thing to do? So we just have to be right in everything that we do, and smacking them back, in my opinion, you have your beliefs, and that's okay if you believe that. I just don't think it was the right thing to do because you just don't know. You could have left out there with, your pride in the sense that, you're not standing for not putting a mask on or whatever, but the fact that you call him a BAN, just, now you look like the racist. So now it's adding to the whole fake culture of racism and all that stuff. So I was just saying be honest about, your actions. And I don't fault you for anything because I don't know you. So I can't just say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But at the same time, we have to be smart.
Yeah,
was my
baby.
point.
Stephanie?
Well, I mean, Jesse says all the time that you shouldn't be scared of losing your job, your kids, or anything to stand up for what's right. And these people telling me to put a mask on and harassing me, no, enough is enough. When is this ever going to end with these people and this nonsense? What is it going to take to make these people stop acting like that with the mask? Jesse even had somebody call him this morning and say he snitched. That's exactly what I deal with all the time.
Yeah.
And I
mean, I have all these videos of me on the bus and stuff and in Target getting harassed, and it's like, I'm not doing anything. I'm just trying to go from point A to point E on a bus. I'm trying to buy my kids food, and these people are not. They're relentless with the mask.
See, I understand the intention there, but we're not the majority here.
So we have to fight. We have to fight back.
We do, but we have to fight smart because they have the power to smear us.
Well, it's like sometimes you have to meet them on their level, and like I'm saying, okay, sometimes I sound like my white persona because, I'm college educated, but I'm also from Jamaica, Queens, where President Trump's from, but I'm from more of the ghetto part of it. And, when I get mad and I talk, sometimes, the little hood rat comes out. I can't help it. My cousin, brother-in-law is friends with the Gottis. We are from this white trash, wigger kind of Italian subculture in New York City, where Black people and Spanish people talk like that. We talk like that. To be policed for my language, come on. I have freedom of speech. I can say it with the R. I can say it with the A.
Right.
I mean,
Thank you, Stephanie.
You do. I respect
Okay.
it.
Nice talking with you.
Babies. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, man. What a mess. Sixto Rewhited gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report. And he says, You should keep this in the closet, Sixto rewhited. But he says, it wasn't going to day drink today, but I cracked a beer once that whiny drama queen Stephanie was on. Worse than my mother was. She did this all for attention. We know it. Stop feeding the troll. Wow, harsh. But Trump hits back and people accuse him of not being classy. But I mean, honestly, Trump is a man. And I like Trump being a man. Anyway. Move on, whether it was right or wrong. Just keep an eye on self, not so much these other people, Stephanie. That's my best advice. You got our support. Even Joel supports you. Right on. Let me get to my second favorite caller quickly. Earl in Michigan. What's up, Earl? How are you doing?
Hola, buenos dias.
Good morning.
This is to James,
Thank you.
And I guess you're standing Joel Friday.
That's right. Joel Friday on Friday.
Yes. I was happy to hear, this has nothing to do with my comment, but I was happy to hear that Joel had the gumption to disagree with Jesse on his show.
Ooh, the serpent comes in.
Wow.
Now you know you were wrong.
I just take the compliment where it's kind of in there.
I started getting all these compliments from liberals when I disagreed with Stephanie. So it made me think, uh-oh, maybe I'm on the wrong side here.
And
anyway.
Of course, Jesse got kind of animus about it. And he started dogging Joel because he disagreed with him. And finally, Joel had to say, can I disagree with you? But you see how hard it is to disagree with him, and Jesse accepted. It's very hard for him to do it. But that's
He's trying to clown
topic.
Joel. Give me a break.
But I want to address, first of all, Art of Ohio, who made a comment and who quoted me incorrectly about the comment me and the Bible Go-To guy was talking about. He claimed that I claimed that, in talking to you, that Israel was in Africa. I've never made such a bogus, a stupid assertion. I know better.
Okay. Maybe ancient Israel was in Africa. Ancient Israel?
Say what?
I wonder where ancient Israel was. Is ancient Israel in the same place as Israel? Maybe it was. Somebody told me that Nazareth is in Congo. Somebody told me that, I think. Anyway, go on.
No, anyway, but he needs to listen more closely if he's going to quote me. At least get it right. That was something the Bible Go-To guy that's purely made up.
Yeah. Whatever. Maybe he misunderstood you.
Maybe. No, he didn't. Well,
he maybe jumped to his conclusions about what you were saying.
Yeah, that's probably what Art did. Just assumed that what the Bible Go-To guy said was true. But just to make a point, the Bible Go-To guy was just saying that Israel is not in Africa. But that wasn't my point. But another thing about the Bagel Go-To guy, you remember when Herod sent out the orders to kill all the newborns and so forth?
Yeah, I remember the story. You're talking about after Jesus was born, and the wise men came by and stopped by Herod's place, said, "Hey, there's the new king of the Jews was just born."
But the kicker is, Joseph and Mary was born, and what did they do?
They went to Egypt.
They moved to Egypt.
Yep.
So when the Bible Go-To guys made a comment that Jesus was never in Egypt, he's mistaken again.
I didn't hear him say that Jesus was never in Egypt, but I knew what you were referring to. I knew what you were referring to.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
I know exactly what he said.
All right. Whatever. I don't remember it because I'm not a resentful woman like you.
Also missed it.
I don't remember
You
every
also
little
missed-
thing because I'm a resentful of the Bible go-to guy like you.
No, you praise him because you think just like him, and he echoes your beliefs too. Just like when you question him, when I try to ask him, does it mean that whites are more superior than blacks? And you went over it to make sure you heard it right.
Right.
But what you didn't reiterate is what he said when you asked him that. He said to the max. But you never did emphasize that part. You started making excuses that after that fact that he can come up with some kind of physical reason or spiritual reason to cover his behind.
He was talking about the
you
Spirit.
went with that.
No, he was talking about the Spirit.
No, that's a baloney. That's something
I do
wanna
remember
believe.
that part.
Of course that's what he said after he tried to cover his behind. He said what he actually said was they're inferior to the max.
So you're a mind reader woman?
Don't have to.
Yeah, you are.
The facts are the facts. The facts are the facts, and the fact
to the
that
max.
You like
What's that even mean?
You like to scapegoat them because you believe the same thing, don't you, James?
I don't know. I haven't really thought much about it. I'm not into comparing people. I'm not into comparison. I'm into comparing against what's right.
That's what they say and what they think. He said what he thought.
And he also said the spiritual thing is what he thinks.
That is baloney. He can also say
you pick and choose what you think he means.
He can pick and choose and lie his butt off.
All right.
And you'll believe him, won't you?
Of course. He never lies.
Oh, shut up. That's a lie in itself. But also, Zach, your question to me, I know I'm not a Jewish Israelite.
Right. I didn't think you were either.
No. You wanted to know that question.
But you are into your blackness just like they are.
No, I just point out black things that you leave out. As all you want to do is condemn blacks.
Not true.
If I say anything positive about blacks or say things negative about whites like you do blacks, then all of a sudden...
So you agree with that Clarence Thomas is a great man?
I'm a hater, but you do it every day.
Do you agree? Blacks. Do you agree that Clarence Thomas is a true justice and a great man?
No.
See? You hate blacks.
I believe that you can believe that.
Thank you.
But that don't make me have to believe it.
But he's black.
You know. So what?
So I respect him, and he's black. So now.
Does every black have the best interests of black in mind?
Yes, because he has the best interests of America in mind. And a strong America is good for the blacks.
You're too stupid to know the difference.
Yeah.
But one day I'll have to explain to you about Robert Smalls, the difference between Robert Smalls, who stood up as a black man, and the difference into these black wannabe apologists that call you, that break their neck to tell off on any kind of bad doings of blacks. They break their neck to be first to call and tell other blacks.
You hardly have to break your neck to say something, to see something wrong with blacks today.
You make an effort.
All right.
And they make a point, and just to get your kudos. Like
okay. Thanks, Earl. Nice talking with you. We'll have a good one, Earl.
No, that's not. I didn't talk about Sidney Powell.
Too late. You used up your time. You used your time.
You keep ducking the fact that she called y'all fools for listening to her.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you, Earl. Have a good night.
What do you have to say about that?
I'll have to look into it myself because I don't know that she said that.
You don't know?
Yeah. All right. So thanks for the tip. We'll talk. Have a good weekend.
You do the same.
Thank you.
We'll talk again.
All right. Make sure you catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday. It's always excellent. Sixto Rewhite, don't drink. Or don't say it. Man. I heard a rumor that smokers are very judgmental, and apparently drinkers are too. When they hear somebody they judge, they have to drink or they have to go smoke. Lin Yan Chin. Oh, sorry, Lin Yan Chin. He says, with a colorful chat on Trovo, please tell Earl there is no such thing as more superior. That is horrible grammar. The word superior must never be prefaced by more. That's true. Same thing with favorite. There's no such thing as my most favoritist. It's just my favorite. Just FYI, side note. That's the white part of me talking. I have so many stories I want to get to, but I also have the lines are full. And I didn't get to this guy yesterday, Joe in Phoenix, Arizona. He wants to comment on Bagel Stephanie, the queen. What's up, Joe? How are you doing?
Good morning, James. So much to get to. My goodness. All right.
I know.
First things first. The Suez Canal ship.
Yeah.
It's already freed.
Nice.
And it was due to a massive dust storm that it got stuck in the first place. It wasn't just the female captain.
Right. But it was a female driver or pilot or something, right? Was that true? Did that come out to be true or no?
I don't know. I couldn't verify that one way or the other.
Yeah.
Secondly, the Federal Reserve, you're right, actually. I'm agreeing with you, Hake. Write this down. It is not part of the government. It is what's called a GSE, a government-sponsored entity.
Wow.
But it is an independent agency. So basically, it was formed with our tax dollars, but they're completely independent.
Yeah.
And as I've said, they have a huge amount of unchecked power, and they are the real power when it comes to our economy and jobs and all that. It's not the president or Congress or anybody else. It is the Fed.
Do you agree with Ron Paul's take on the Fed? I think Ron Paul either wants to audit and or end it.
I'm not sure about ending it, but auditing it, yes. Like I said, they have nearly unchecked power. They can do whatever the heck they want to when it comes to interest rates and discount rate and the overnight federal funds rate, and they do whatever they want.
Yeah. Okay.
And they will admit that sometimes they just get it wrong, and we all suffer for it.
Yeah. What a shame. Okay. Thank you.
And lastly, Stephanie, my goodness, where to begin with you? Using profanity and racial slurs in front of your children is unforgivable, and it's just so low class. I can't even begin to describe it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, she was raised in the ghetto, and she is Italian. And Joel doesn't know about unforgivable, but
no.
Anyway,
develop some class, Stephanie, and grow clue. Clearly, your college education did not take, because you are a true clueless idiot.
Oh, man, that's harsh.
Anyway.
Hold on, though, Joe, because college education doesn't bring about morals or real politeness, like genuine politeness. You know, like that's more about proper raising and self-discipline.
Well, we actually agree on that also.
Yeah. But don't you see the disproportionate reaction?
Get along sometimes, I tell you.
What's that?
I said sometimes you and I can get along sometimes.
Right. But don't you see the disproportionate reaction? Like, some people are way overreacting just because she's so-called white and said the so-called N-word. Don't you see the ridiculousness about the overreaction to the N-word?
You know, the comedian George Carlin did a great bit about words and how they're just words. Don't react to them.
Yeah. Right on.
And I agree with that. Although that particular word has been used historically to dehumanize black folks. So I disagree with your statement.
Prove it. Can you... I know it's hard to prove something, right? But give me your best evidence on that, because I don't believe that to be true.
You don't believe that to be true?
Yeah.
Okay, James. So when you want to dehumanize a group of people, you don't refer to them as human beings. You make them an quote-unquote other. And using the N-word makes people into others.
I recognize the explanation, but can you show that was the intention? Because people were also called paleface because they were others. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily dehumanizing just to call somebody other than a fellow human being. You know what I mean? Illegal aliens we all know that they're humans and we should treat them humanely, but they should go back generally. But there's this pretense that because we're calling them aliens and illegals, it's like a dehumanizing racist thing. And I just, what you described is imitation of logic, but you didn't describe like what the mindset was of the people who called them N-words back in the day. It wasn't even particularly like in the book Tom Sawyer. They used the N-word, right? But I don't think that Tom Sawyer and, Samuel Clemens or whoever wrote the book was meaning for them to be referring to them derogatorily. It was purely descriptive. There was a black person, so they called them that.
The story of that book, they're describing an accident that happened on a riverboat where it blew up, and Tom Sawyer's mom was asking, "Hey, Tom, did anybody get hurt?" And he said, "No, Mom, just an N-word." And she said, "Oh, well, that's good. Sometimes people do get hurt." So that is literally dehumanizing black folks.
Well, if it's just one person, it's not. It's more like shrugging them off. What's that?
You're missing the point. I mean,
okay, I get it. Okay, just some N-word, not real people. It does sound. But that guy was a liberal. But my point is, he had friends who were N-words, and he called them N-words, and he wasn't being mean about it. So it wasn't.
That's not a word that I would ever use. That
Right.
I have used, and I think it speaks to a person's lack of education when they use that word.
I know,
Black folks included, yeah.
But listen. Well, you already agree. The people's overeducation makes them assign intent over the use of the word when people intend it in all sorts of different ways. That's just common sense. People use it. People use it lovingly. People use it when they're mad at somebody. They use it in different ways.
I think you said you have Scottish heritage, right?
Yeah.
I used to date a Scottish woman, and she was very, very, I'll say, thin-skinned about the Scottish people being portrayed as brutal and wild and untamed and all that, right?
Yep.
So, people have all kinds of hot buttons.
Very true. And like you said, people got to get over words. Anyway, Joe, interesting. Nice talking with you.
Have a good day.
All right, you too. Make sure you catch Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. I tell these people that I don't think particularly like JLP because it's like, if you can't see that JLP is for what's right and a real Christian, then there's something blind. But I didn't want to get into that argument. Blazing Hogs with the diamond over there on DLive.tv says, Earl, you ever used a shovel? Might learn something. What you mean, Blazing Hogs? Are you calling a spade a spade? Just kidding. That's a slur. That's what I was told from Huffington Post anyway. Hot Computer Smell with a super chat on streamlabs.com/the Hake Report and said, if you had maize on with Bagel Girl, I like how they're calling them Bagel Girl, Bagel Queen, Bagel Stephanie, rather than Bagel K-word. Thank you. If you had maize on with Bagel Girl, that would have been ultimate. Yeah. Attitude versus attitude. I got to get to more calls. Jacob in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm going to try to fit one more call in before the end of this first hour.
What's up, Hake? How you doing, man?
Doing well. How about you, Jacob?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Or no man is good, so I'm doing well, actually.
Right on. Well, if you're a Christian, you can be doing good because I think the Bible says to do good. I think.
Oh, so not.
You can do good, but you can't be good because you are not good. But anyway.
Right. Okay.
Good works through you.
Yeah. That's right. I want to comment real quick on that Karen, the K Bagel lady.
Yeah.
you could tell in her voice, man, she grew up around black people and stuff, and it's
Right.
just the way that she said it. Like, if she had a southern accent or something, I could see it. Like, okay, yeah. But you could tell, man, she got a black baby daddy and stuff. It's kind of how she talked.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was used around her so long, probably.
Fair point.
She didn't mean it in a malicious way, but I do think that she was trying to pick up the pieces a little bit. Like, she made the mistake, and then she was trying to figure out, like, how I could take a stand.
What part was,
with the mistake.
in your opinion, you said she made the mistake. What was the mistake that she made?
The mistake was getting angry and judging and saying the word. That was the mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, not the mash thing. I mean, you're in New York City, though. You get what you deserve, right? You shouldn't be in New York City.
I mean, that's her home. But
You gotta move. you
Yeah,
know?
maybe. I don't even know that the word itself was the mistake, but I did feel that women, when they get all into this stuff, it's kind of cringy when they get all activist. And she is an anti-mask activist, regardless of whether she's looking for it or not. She's easily sucked into getting attitude with people and getting sassy with people. And it's just her personality. Well, I don't know. I'm not her, but she got to check herself and know for herself.
Man. Yeah, when people like do the activism thing, like you're saying, and it's not coming from the heart or from God, they're just doing it just because.
Yeah.
You know, they know, like, they have the knowledge of good and evil, but they don't actually like have direction from God. It is cringy.
Yeah. Right. Very true.
So, I wanted to mention, I actually called about something else, but I actually am a felon.
Oh, wow. Congrats on being out.
I actually didn't. I was a minor. I was 17 years old when I when I went to court and stuff for it. I was just a bad kid, man. I was really bad. So,
Single mother or what?
Yeah.
If you don't mind my asking.
What was that?
Single mother or what? If you don't mind my asking.
No, man. I had a daddy, but he was like a working type of guy, and I love my father, man. Our relationship is so good now.
Uh-huh.
I love him, but he was like kind of a beta male in the sense that he would like put the woman in charge of the kids, and he would make my mother's I had a stepmother. He'd make her discipline me, and he would not say anything. He would like put her ahead of us and beta, so. But no, man, that's why I stopped. I made a bad decision, a few bad decisions, and I stopped, and I came back to my roots, because I knew that it wasn't okay. I wasn't raised like that anyway. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a child of a divorce and remarriage, that can mess up a child's life itself, regardless if you have your dad in the home. I think.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's a divorce and remarriage situation, but
it is. It is a divorce. He apologized for marrying that woman and putting her in my life. He apologized for it.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah,
wow.
Man. Me and him are pretty good now.
Where do you stand on the votes for felons and the guns for felons thing?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. To tell you the truth, Hake, I understand it completely, man. Most felons, like you're saying, are Democrats, the liberals. They don't take accountability for anything in their lives, man.
Yeah.
Nothing. And it's everybody else's fault. They're in the system, and the man is holding them down. That's how most of them think about it. And I know I'm an exception, and so therefore I'm not going to try to make rules just because I'm an exception, because I am.
Yeah.
Most people are not like that. The voting thing, I don't think that felons should vote unless they own land. So if you're a felon and you own land, go ahead and vote.
Nice.
But if you're not, don't vote. In the firearm thing, man, let me tell you the truth, Hake. I'm an American before I'm a felon. So, that's just that. I'm going to always protect myself no matter what.
Right.
I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
But I'm also not into no mess, and I'm not doing anything stupid. So I have no reason to fear, anything like that. But
yeah, that's cool. One thing that JLP says that's really good advice for the felons, because there are some decent felons, and some of them do still have anger, though. And they do get sucked into the little bit of that victimhood because life is so much tougher in some cases, getting a job and all that stuff. People want to ban the box, meaning prospective employers make you check a box if you're a felon. They want to ban employers from doing that. More activism, victimhood stuff. And he says, whatever the case, do not be a victim. Victims are pathetic, and take full responsibility that you're in the situation because of what you did, regardless of whatever justice or injustice you may be facing. So that's really good. That's cool. I like your attitude about it.
Yeah, no, man. Like everything I've done in my life is because of me, and it's nobody else's fault. But if you have a good work ethic, and you have a good attitude about it, and you're not asking for handouts, and you're willing to work, like you can get a job as a felon. I mean, period.
Yeah.
It's real easy. Honestly, it's not that hard. You might have to do construction or be an entrepreneur, but you can do it.
Yeah. True. That's cool, man. So you wanted to talk about this Derek Jackson guy? Can you remind me who he was?
That was the black guy with the black woman, his wife, and he cheated on her. Remember from Jesse's show?
Was he an athlete or something? Because I was only halfway paying attention.
I don't think. No, he was like a marriage counselor guy. He told people how to stay married and stuff, I guess. But
okay.
But yeah, and then he cheated, and like as we all know, man, when you do that, like when you give your balls away to a woman like that, and you submit yourself to her, you're gonna lose that battle eventually.
Yeah.
You know,
like he did with his wife.
Yes.
Like they're holding hands, and he's saying, "Oh, she didn't put me up to this. She's just not forcing me to do this. I'm doing it on my own because he really thinks that it's the right thing to do." But
he's gonna suffer.
Yeah. I agree.
It won't last long. I've done that before, man. I've tried to apologize to a woman, and they can't handle. It's like the egos can't handle it, man. It's like you just have to accept what you're gonna accept or leave. That's kind of attitude you have to have.
Yeah.
I mean, and be a little bit remorseful because you did decide to cheat and you didn't have to do that.
Right.
So maybe be remorseful, but you can't like Jesse always says, you can't make somebody think that you're not going to do it again.
Right.
You know, that's not going to work.
Yeah, that's why I agree with JLP's idea that keep it in the closet. Don't tell her what you did. Keep it quiet and overcome in quiet. If you have to tell somebody, tell a mentor, but you can overcome that stuff, and it's not necessary to be confessing everything especially to a woman, you know? What a shame.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question, Hake.
Yeah.
So if you were to get married to Holly or whatever, I don't know who you got going on, but I always hear about this Holly lady. So if you were to get married and something was to happen and she was to step out or something like that, would you want her to tell you or would you want her to keep it a secret? If
she cheated on me, if my future wife or whatever were to cheat on me, imaginary wife, that's a good question. I think it's maybe on both sides they should keep it a secret, but I don't think that. I think men are more naturally forgiving and understanding than women are in reality. So and maybe the man is the one to help her. I don't know. And the Bible does say about Jesus said something about divorce not being valid. Like if you get a divorce, except in the case of marital unfaithfulness, you're causing the person to become an adulteress. If you, which I guess that would mean that she would to remarry. But in the case of marital unfaithfulness, she's already an adulteress, right? So I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you're supposed to divorce always after somebody cheats or is caught cheating. I don't know. Yeah. So my bottom line answer to that is I don't know.
Oh, come on, man. Well, honestly, no.
Would you want the girl to tell you?
It depends on the situation. Because you know how you have to be in the spirit of the moment, man. You can't.
Exactly.
Strict rules. So you have to if she's been submissive to you and she just made a mistake and it was just an actual mistake.
Yeah.
And it didn't go on for long or take it that far. It's possible, depending on her attitude about it.
Yeah.
But also, Hake, I mean, as you probably know, man, men are into sex and stuff, and women are not really into it. And if a man cheats on a woman, he can still love her and have feelings about her and care about her and want to keep the relationship. But if a woman cheats on a man, she's almost certainly lost respect in a big way for him because, they're not all about sex. They're not about just getting it off. They're about, love and companionship and respect. So if she cheats on you, there's probably some respect that's been lost. So I don't know if that's, you can recover from that.
Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know the answer.
Come on. What does Joel think? What would Joel do?
Joel, you want in on this? Doesn't sound like he's too interested in.
I forgot what would I do if you cheated or something?
Yeah, would you
want her to tell
would you want the woman to tell you if you were married and the wife cheated on you?
I mean, I like to know everything, but I would have to just wait and see. But I would just like to know. I just like to know things. Exactly what's going on, where they're at, what is the understanding of it. Because if I knew it and she didn't say it, then that's another thing. So it would just depend on the situation, kind of like you guys are saying.
All right. Well, thank you. This is too much speculation for me.
Amazing.
Appreciate it, Jacob. Good to hear from you.
All right. Thanks, gentlemen. All right. Have a good one. Take it easy.
All right. Take care. Wow. You know what? It's hot in here, though. Can we turn on the AC? Let's turn on the AC. Or at least open the door and hope the people outside aren't quiet. I think I want to skip the break. Okay. Yeah. I got to talk to Keith in Illinois. Keith, how are you doing? Thank you. Keith! Keith is not ready. Hang on, Keith. We'll check on Keith. Let me talk to Bobby in Texas. He wants to talk about the Bagel Queen, Stephanie. Bobby, how are you?
Good, James. How are you doing, man? Can you hear me well?
I can hear you well, but you're not good.
You don't know. No. Anyway, I'll just get right to it. First off, shout out to Zach enjoying the story. I'm going to tell him to, be careful with those crazy people at those riots and protests. Those people get out of control. It's not worth being there unless you got some people and you want to put it on tape and put them on blast. It's really not worth it.
Yep.
And about what was his name? Robert. I think he's in Kansas. Yeah, he called earlier in the week.
Uh-huh.
He had a really good call, and then he goes and blows it right at the end by, acting like a racist on there. I was like, disappointed.
Yeah, you called Tony a monkey, so I had to hang up on him.
Yeah. I was really enjoying his call, and I was kind of agreeing with him, like what he had to say, but, man, just make everybody look bad. And now to Bagel Stephanie. Like, I appreciate what she's doing. It's a good thing. I don't appreciate masks. I'm not cool with it.
Right.
Like, I don't have to wear them anymore on my own for the most part. I had to, when I was filing my taxes, I had to wear one, but outside of that,
yeah,
nobody's really pushed it around here. But, like I agree with what Joel was saying this morning when he kind of clarified himself from his Animus, but he was, saying that she's got to be honest with what she did. And, we all know that, she was seeking attention with doing that. It wasn't, she wasn't fighting a good fight. Like, and now she's dealing with the repercussions of her actions, and I'm seriously doubting she's enjoying that attention.
Yeah. And it's not like those repercussions are from decent people. They're not. But
no.
But anybody could have seen that coming, I think.
Yeah. From a mile away, and you're not doing anybody a favor. You're not helping the cause of getting masks off people's faces by causing that kind of by being able to be labeled a Karen. Like, that's not helping anyone. It
is a fun conversation to talk about, and as long as she stays relatively safe, I'm okay with the results. And I like that she's not apologizing for something that she didn't do wrong, because a word is, who cares? I like that it seems like she's sort of defiant about the word itself, and she may or may not feel that she overreacted. Seemed like she acknowledged overreacting, but I don't know.
You need to respect a business. You need to respect their wishes and their orders and what they think is, what they want to do.
She got mixed messages from the business, though, because she talked to the security guard and they said, okay.
They pushed her to the front of the line so that they could get her out of there. But,
yeah,
the fact is, like, if you want to go in a store, especially in New York, New Jersey, wherever, like, they're a bunch of idiots. Like, you're going to have to play ball or
Right.
don't go there. Call in your order. Be prepared, so that you don't have to sit there.
I really don't think she had to do all that.
mess
I think she did fine by going in there and saying, "Oh, I have a medical exemption." It was when the black guy said, "Don't look at me like that," and she said, "I'm not looking at you any particular way. I have sunglasses on. You can't see me how I'm looking at you." It's when she started getting attitude with the guy who gave her attitude. That's when. That's the only place that she went wrong. Because had she just stayed quiet, which had she just stayed quiet, she would have gotten her service.
Yeah.
Because maybe if she had stayed quiet, the security guard would have said, "She's fine. I told her, but she has a medical issue." They can't. They're not. I think there was a guidance issued that businesses are not advised to get into fights with customers over this issue. And they weren't actually fighting over the mask. They were fighting over dirty looks.
Her attitude.
Supposed dirty looks. Yeah.
Right. But I just think it's better off. I mean, I like people that are standing up for what's right, but I mean, at the end of the day, there's people around you shouting at you. You're being recorded. What's going on. And you're continuing to push it and continue to, give attitude and spit fire at this dude. It's like, just, get your stuff, say what you want, after you get your stuff.
Right.
But
yeah.
You obviously can't go dropping the N-bomb like in New York and New Jersey when you've got people recording you. Like, if she had known she was the only person in the store, maybe. But she had no support. Nobody in that store was sitting there like, yeah, get her bagel.
Jesus was with her.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, she had no support as far as somebody that's helping her out, going to, get her back when things go wrong. And now she's on blast. She's got her kids in, getting in trouble with CPS. People are threatening her kids. It's like, that's absolutely the wrong thing you would want to have, the wrong attention that you want.
Interesting.
You want attention that brings favor to the situation, that brings like, oh, that lady, she was right. That's what you want. You don't want people to be like, oh, she said the N-bomb, and that's all that they talk about from the story.
Yeah.
But,
interesting.
I mean, it's her life and her decision. But I just feel like, if I'm bringing my point out, I would say that, you got to watch what you say if you're going to, because you're fighting for, all of us when you're doing that. So you got to smart, like Joel said, you got to be smart. You got to fight fire with fire, but you got to be smart.
Yeah. I mean, the Italian woman culture is sassy like that. So she couldn't help it.
That's not an excuse.
I know, but she could. I mean, that's how.
Italian is
what do you
excuse.
expect? She's Italian. She's a woman. She got attitude.
There you go.
And she's from New York.
That's more of an excuse.
All right, Bobby. Appreciate it, man. Good to hear from you.
One more thing.
Go for it.
Whenever I called Chris the other day, and I don't know if he mentioned it to you, but you know how sometimes you let callers talk to each other on your show?
Yes.
Maybe in the future when you do that, especially when you've got loudmouth Maze and the like on there, to use your mute button.
Oh, okay. All right.
People can converse and actually get their point across before you got Maze yelling and shouting the 90 words a minute at them.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate the tips.
You bet. Have a good one, Jay.
You too.
Absolutely.
It's funny. The whole lineup of calls, I got one line open, but the whole rest of the calls, they want to talk about Bagel Steph. So let's give you a little break from Bagel Steph. Let's talk about black crime. There was a botched DC carjacking victim flung from the car to his death. And I don't have pictures of this particular guy, nor do I have, I mean, there is a picture of the guy, but I don't have it. Nor do I have a picture of mugshots of the alleged perps because they're underage. Their ages 13 and 15. They were just a child. Remember how they said Trayvon Martin was just a child, 17 years old, like 6 foot something, maybe 5'11". 2 girls, teenage girls, are charged with this guy's murder, accused of carjacking and killing a 66-year-old Pakistani immigrant, Mohammed Anwar of Springfield, Virginia. Is he really of Springfield, Virginia? Well, no, he's Pakistani. He moved here in 2014 for a better life, according to his... there was a GoFundMe set up for his funeral, right, by his family members. He died on Tuesday after he was dragged and flung from his vehicle that crashed and rolled over by these evil little girls, young ladies. And I use the term ladies loosely. And they are not identified nor pictured because they are minors, 13 and 15 years old. But I'm guessing black because this was in D.C., and I'm guessing black because it's carjacking. Come on. But maybe it turned out to be white girls. Maybe it was Biden's granddaughters or great-granddaughters or whatever. This guy was an Uber Eats delivery driver. So he was on a delivery around 4:30 p.m. on Tuesday, and these girls, armed with a stun gun, taser, get in his vehicle. I don't know if it was unbeknownst to him, and he gets back in the car and drives, and they surprise him or what. But he drove to like Nationals Park, right? That's like a ball team over there in D.C. And a struggle ensued. This Mohammed Anwar partially left the vehicle, but he was like pinned between the door and the driver's seat as they put the vehicle in gear, allegedly, according to what authorities said, reported by the New York Post. The car lurched forward, causing Anwar to be fatally flung out as the car made a sharp right turn, causing it to roll over on its side and crash into two parked cars. National Guard troops, who just happened to be there, pulled the two girls, 13 and 15, from the wrecked car. I'm suspecting black, but that's pure speculation. The teens are each charged with felony murder and armed carjacking, being held in custody pending their next court date on March 31st. I mean, they brought a taser. I don't think they set out to murder this guy, but reckless concern for someone's life. Am I right? And isn't that just like those people or human nature, really, once it's sufficiently turned evil, to be just completely cruel, right? Officials arrived on the scene. Anwar was suffering from life-threatening injuries, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. Father of three, immigrated to the United States in 2014, quote, to create a better life for him and his family. And he was, like so many immigrants, right, doing the Uber Eats thing or the Uber thing, according to a GoFundMe. Here's another crime, and I actually have pictures of these. And this was a tip from, man, I'm blanking on his name, but our friend from Dodge City. Where is Dodge City? Kansas? CJ Connor. Chris Connor. Reverend CJ Connor. Zacharias Giannino homicide. Man shot in the head. Murder charges filed. And it's a black man and a black woman. Young man. Actually, I use the term man and woman loosely. There's the male. Look at these two Dodge City beauties charged with murder, says CJ Connor over on Twitter. Give me a tip. Dodge City Police Chief Drew Francis on March 23rd says that on March 23rd, approximately 4 p.m., officers arrested 19-year-old Dodge City man Tyree Jackson, and a few hours later made a second arrest of 31-year-old woman from Dodge City, LaKendria Lewis, both black. That's the LaKendria. Whoa. Both subjects were booked in Ford County Jail on the charge of murder in the first degree. 2 additional arrests were subsequently made over a night. One female, 16 years old, and a 17-year-old male, both Dodge City, arrested for interference of law enforcement and criminal desecration. According to Francis, it was believed Zacharias Giannino, an 18-year-old man found dead on Sunday, was killed by a single gunshot to the head in the morning hours, January 28th, in VFW Park. I think that's Veterans of Foreign Wars Park in Dodge City. His body was hidden outdoors in a nearby but secluded area. Low temperatures helped preserve the condition of the remains. First to have occurred in Dodge City since 2018. Wow. Get out of Dodge. Wild. Immigration is a crazy crisis. Chad Wolf, who was the acting DHS secretary, and I wasn't exactly a fan of his, but He's not as evil as the new DHS Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, under Joe Biden. He's calling it an unprecedented crisis. They have blacks in Kansas? Yeah. Thank you to Penny Rue and Minor Legend for the diamonds. Appreciate the support, guys and gals. And for the support via Streamlabs. And, of course, trovo.live/The Hake Report. Oh! Lin Yan Chin gave a colorful chat on Trovo, or some type of super chat on Trovo. Said, Joe Kenyon's wisdom is below average and his intellect is heavier than his intelligence can keep up with. That's why he spirals into outrage and fact-thumping. He is full of mama. That's why his persona implies more education equals more character. He doesn't seem to think knowledge is wisdom. Or he does seem to think it? I'm not sure. Interesting. Let me check the more super chats. I feel like there were more. Cobra Koi 99 says on Trovo, if Stephanie was black or singing a rap song, no problem. Exactly. I agree. Anyway. Sixto Rewhited with the super chat on Streamlabs says, Hake, 3 hours. Wow. I don't know. But I appreciate the support and the request. I will consider it. Immigration is good for elites, says Penny Rue. It is good for Republicans. Don't be fooled. That's correct. Yeah, these rhinos, they've allowed it to go on for every bit as long as the Democrats have. They do not actually care about America. They're posturing. The Republicans who are more into helping the corporations that end up helping Democrats and helping the degeneration of society. Like, it's so ridiculous. They're acting like if you oppose LGBTQ, you oppose the law of the land and the Constitution. Therefore, you shouldn't even serve in the military. Give me a break. These people are really evil. Anyway, I got to get to Zach in Columbus, Ohio. He has some wisdom for Bagel, Steph, and Earl. Zach, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm kind of on the side with Joel here.
All right.
On his side with the whole Bagel Karen thing.
In what way?
I think that she could have went at it in a different way. Like, she didn't have to say B-A-N-word.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she could have just went at it a different way. She wanted the attention is how I look at it. She got the attention in the wrong way. And now I feel like she's kind of regretting it. And now she's all over TikTok, calling her the Gen Z, my generation, KKK Karen.
Oh, you mean TikTok is on Twitter, is going wild talking about her.
Yes.
Not that she's on TikTok, but people are on TikTok talking about her.
Yeah.
That's
and they're
funny.
calling her KKK Karen.
And Joel, with his racial animus, is laughing.
No, that's horrible.
I'm totally kidding. Joel is not into that. Go on.
Also, like I was saying, she's all over TikTok. There's a whole bunch of videos. There's another video of her with a Make America Great hoodie on. I mean, not hoodie, a hat, talking to somebody. That video is all over TikTok, too.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that she's talked about different confrontations that she's gotten into. That's partly what I was responding to because I already know that background about her. That she, whether she's looking for it or not, consciously or not, she gets into these situations. And she explained it. She's a Queens queen. And I don't know, I forget if she said she's from Queens, but she's from New York. And New Yorkers have a strong personality. Italians have a strong personality. Women have a strong personality. And so that's triple threat.
Yeah.
That's the trifecta
she's like,
of trouble.
She's 13% African or something like that.
North African is not black, according to White Chris, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think that's black. I think that's white.
Okay.
But going on to Earl, I had to call in because Earl just makes me so mad when he's talking.
That's funny.
It's like the stuff that he says is so illogical and not right. And he's into all the black stuff. And when people talk about all the black stuff, I just get mad anyway. Not mad because, you shouldn't get mad, but I get a little bit upset because it's like, why are you talking about all the black stuff and then turning around on the whites, the nice white people?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of. That he's, I don't know, like he's all into, I don't know, he just doesn't have good comprehension. When you're blind and angry, and we suspect that he just likes attention.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that,
especially
in Earl. But before I go, a story I have for you. It's kind of old, about maybe 3 weeks old.
Stay close to your phone for me.
Oh, what about, am I better now?
Yes.
About 3 weeks old, a coach for college basketball on Creighton told his team that they need to stay on the plantation and keep everything in the plantation.
Okay.
And apparently
meaning the team.
Racist.
Meaning the team. Okay.
Yeah, he told the team that, and now he's under fire for it because apparently that's racist.
So
and that's
dumb.
not okay to say.
Yeah. Of course it's okay to say. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah, he just means it's kind of like the Marines. Keep it in your unit or within the Corps, and then if it gets out, then you deal with it. But there's a lot of business that goes on that you don't need to let out to the general world, right? So keep it on the plantation. There's nothing wrong with that. People are so sensitive about the plantation thing. I didn't realize it until these couple of movie stars or country music singers or whatever, they got married on a plantation. It was a beautiful place. I want to, if I ever get married, want to go get married on a plantation.
You and Holly could get married on a plantation.
Yeah, I don't know. but yeah. And now they're calling it racist. And then that Bachelor woman getting smeared for having a supposedly plantation-themed thing. It's just a slur and a smear upon whites and upon American history and upon the beautiful South. It's so evil.
It is. And then I recently just got a Confederate flag.
Nice.
That I'm going to be putting up in my room.
Sweet.
That I hope I don't get called racist for that.
Well, I mean, you're gonna get called racist for it, but who cares? If that's what you're into, KKK Zach.
Yeah, KKK Zach. Back at it again.
Why are you getting a Confederate flag?
I have a lot of Southern pride. All my family's from the South.
Oh, okay, nice.
A lot of Southern pride. And I eventually want to move down south, once I get my nice white family.
All right.
Eventually want to move down there, yeah.
Hake is racist against Northerners, says Dan Tajian. Yeah, a little bit.
All right, James, it was nice talking to you.
Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. Take care.
Yep, you too.
All right. Very nice. I'm seeing more stuff. Penny Roo says, Hake's hair only looks good for 2 hours. Thank you, Penny Roo. I'll take what I can get. Sixto Rewhited says, Joe Kenyon said one thing in chat and another on the phone. Don't be fooled, people. Snakes everywhere. Yeah, I consider him a snake because he just plain does not see, no pun intended, the wisdom of JLP. He doesn't see it. Or he's so stubborn he can't admit it. But anyway, Jib Jab with a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report says, sorry, Trovo is too gay to be sending colorful chats. Stick with Streamlabs, my nibbas. By the way, Stephanie isn't that bad of a woman. She aight in my book. No bagels to pick with her. Right on, Jib Jab. Always good-spirited. Appreciate you. Okay, let me get to Kraig in Illinois. It's good to hear from you, Kraig. Thanks for holding. What's up? Are you there, Kraig? Hang on, man.
Yeah, I'm here. Hey,
Okay,
hey,
cool.
what's going on, Hake?
Not much. How about you?
I'm all right. So, I want to talk to you about that incident that happened in the bagel shop there.
All right.
Everybody calling her, clowning her, but you know what, man? All right, we're living in a society where you can't even say nothing. All right?
Yeah.
It's sad, and it's mostly targeting the Caucasian race in America.
Yeah.
It's not right.
You know why, though?
Because it's hateful, for one. It's hateful, for people to go against your freedom of speech or whatever. I think the person that pulled out the cell phone to record her was wrong, too, because let's don't get that person off the hook as well, because they were just looking for publicity so they can put it on their little YouTube account or whatever.
Yep. Ego.
The guy, and the guy that was behind the counter. Okay, all right. Could he okay? Yeah, no problem. Here, what kind of bagel you want? No problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like I said, when women with their children, sometimes you don't know what type of day they have it. Okay,
yep.
A lot
True.
of times she was probably upset about something we don't know.
Yeah.
But the way they're doing this to her, and so she used the word big damn deal. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Now, they cuss in these rap songs all the time. Okay?
Yep.
They use the N-word a lot. Okay? And there's no problem. But you see how the hypocrisy with this, like, it doesn't make sense to me. It's I don't know. But, for them to be threatening her and, taking away her kids and to just do something to her, that's totally evil. Okay? That is wrong.
Yep.
That just shows you that they're the real racists because they're doing that to her.
Yep. And because she's white.
And that's, So I agree. Yeah, she said something. She said it, whatever. Okay? But you're going to be hearing that for the next 100 years. Okay? All right? And besides, the Democrat Party started that word. Okay? And if you go back into the 80s, into the dictionary, that word constituted an ignorant person. It had nothing to do with race.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all I got to say. Hey,
I appreciate it.
Doing to her.
Strong points, right. Kraig. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I had no college degree, but I do have a lot of common sense.
That's right. Maybe because you didn't sacrifice it for the sake of college. Thank you, man. Good to hear from you.
All right, y'all take care. Have a nice weekend.
All right, you as well. Make sure you guys catch the Fallen State. It is coming up soon, in an hour and a half, and it's going to be a fun one. Maybe not wild, but wild in a certain sense. And of course, church on Sunday, church with Jesse Lee Peterson. And if all is well, we might have a men's forum next week. It is April Fool's Day, 1st of April, I think, next Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Ramon in San Jose, California, wants to comment on Bagel Steph. What's up, Ramon? How are you?
What's up, James?
Hey, good to hear from you.
It's not mainly about her situation, but like it's funny how I had a situation I had a similar situation happen to me about a week ago as well. I have two kids, one's 8 and then the other one's 3.
Nice.
And so it's pretty much kind of the same. And I went to the flea market, and for me, my line is that I'll wear a mask, but I won't make my kids wear a mask,
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I live in San Jose, so it's a deep, deep blue city. So I know I'm not going to change mine not wearing a mask. Sometimes I think about it, like maybe I don't wear a mask and take a stand. It'll change things. But honestly, I go to the park. Like the only times I don't wear a mask is the public areas and stuff like that, like the parks or things like that. And so I don't wear a mask, and everybody has a mask. It's like sometimes I'm the only one, and my kids are the only ones that the hell have masks, and it feels kind of weird sometimes. But
outdoors.
Yeah, outdoors, man. It's in the hot and the heat, and I'm like, you guys are crazy.
Right.
But yeah, so that's my line. I don't make my kids wear masks. And so I went to the flea market, and I had to pay to get in, and I had my mask on, and my kids didn't have a mask on. So some lady lets me in because you got to give them the ticket, and I get a couple feet in, and another employee's like, "Hey, where's your mask?" I'm like, "Oh, I got it on right here." He's like, "No, your kids." I'm like, "Oh, they're little kids. They don't have to wear one."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, they have to be 2 years old and this and that." I'm like, "Are you serious, dude?" I'm like, "What? They got to wear a mask?" He's like, "Yeah, they got to wear a mask." I'm like, "All right, then I'm gonna leave.
Uh-huh.
Give my money back for what I paid, and I'm out of here."
Nice.
And they're like, "Oh, okay, all right." They're like, "Okay." So I go to the cashier, get my money out. Everybody's all like, I told the cashier, I'm like, "Hey, give my money back." They try to make my kids wear a mask. I'll wear a mask, but I'm not gonna make them wear a mask.
Right.
And they're like, okay. And then the people around me, they're like, "Oh, we'll give you a mask for the kids. Here." I'm like, "No, it's not that. I'll tell you, it's not that. It's just I don't want them to wear a mask."
Nice.
And so I just grabbed my money and I left, and
That's
I just
cool.
took my business somewhere else, and that's where I came with, like, if I was her, I wouldn't, like, especially she says she has a disability, right? So she's already in the right. It's by law she doesn't have to wear a mask. So
Yeah.
the best option she could have done is, like, try to sue them, like, "Hey, you're denying my rights. I have a ADA claim." That's a lawsuit any lawyer would want to take.
I know. With the suing type of culture that we have. Yeah.
Yeah, especially in New York, she could find a lawyer real quick.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like I look at that situation and I'm like, I wouldn't have done that myself. So I agree with Joel. So I actually was in a situation like that, and I know, and it does get you riled up. Like, oh man, why are they trying to make my kids wear masks? I'm wearing one.
Yeah.
And so it's she could have done it a different way, sued them, Especially I was with her up until she said the BAN. She was in the right because the guy was trying to say, "Why are you looking at me like that?"
Right.
And she was right to say that, like, "Hey, I have glasses. How can I look at you the wrong way?"
Uh-huh.
And yeah, bro. So it's crazy that it had to go that far, because she was in the right, that if her condition was right, if it was legal,
yeah,
that she didn't have to wear a mask.
In a heated situation, I couldn't even really tell by the video what exactly was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to exactly judge her on the words use, but it did seem like she has a record of the reason that she might lose such if she'd behaved herself and sued, which I don't really believe in lawsuits in terms of petty things, but let's say she did sue for harassment or whatever. Mm-hmm. The opposing lawyer could pull up her other videos of her getting into these confrontations and say, "Oh, she just wants to look for trouble," which she says isn't the case, but other people may see it that way, including people who are kind of on her side with this whole mask communist thing. Anyway.
Well, for me, I'm speaking for some, like, I went pretty much the same thing, I could have blew up on that guy, but I'm like, all right, dude, I'm getting my money back. I'm out of here, So
nice.
So that's my situation, and I took it a different way.
Yeah.
And I didn't end up on the internet. And on top of that, isn't she a woman? She should be making her own bagels in the kitchen.
Yep.
Now, well, yeah, that's about that. And then the Federal Reserve, real quick. I don't know if you know about a lawyer called Robert Barnes.
Yes.
Yes. So he just came out with it. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday that he was going to sue the Federal Reserve under the FOIA Act, and so he's up in his lawsuit is going to be a very telling thing going on, because no one's really sued him before.
Yeah.
And two outcomes are going to come out. Either they're going to give up the audit, the records of all the numbers of what they're doing, and he thinks that they don't even have it, so it's going to show that they haven't been keeping track and that they're not doing things legally, or they're either going to deny it and actually, because you were right, they are a private entity. They're not a government thing. So
yeah.
So he's going to sue them, and it's a pretty cool thing. He has a website called Barnes and Viva Frey. I think you've heard of them too. They're teaming up and making a council, and they're going to sue the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
So
we'll see.
Something big could come out of that, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Appreciate the tip.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ramon.
That's all. All right, man.
Take care. Very nice. Maze, my favorite caller in Dayton, Ohio, wants to address this mute button suggestion by Bobby. Maze, how are you doing?
Hello, James.
Hey.
Well, why was Bobby worried about?
You sound like you're on a speakerphone, Maze. How come you usually sound so great and now you're on a speakerphone?
I'm not on a speakerphone.
Not anymore.
So, as I was saying...
Tricky woman.
How did he tell you how to run your show?
Huh?
How did he tell you how to run your show?
Well, yeah.
I thought it was a James Hake show, not somebody coming in and commenting. Have you ever heard me tell you how to tell people when to talk and who to talk to?
Not exactly, but you do tell me to be quiet and look at yourself, don't you?
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So now let me get into another point I have.
All right.
Tell Zach, if he wants to talk to Earl, he's just begging for Earl to talk to him. And he always discussing the topic that Earl has.
This is a whole bunch of different callers talking about other callers today. What is going on?
He's just a real little rhythm baby, and I'll be glad when class starts so he can go back to class and take art with him so he can learn something too.
Man, cruel.
So now getting back to that young lady, that woman that you had on, she's walking around, she's going to be asking for a GoFundMe next. And y'all going to be entrapped into it. And you said the word, the word, the end letter.
Uh-huh.
Now, you said it's for black people. Not by definition, it can be anybody. It can even be her.
Yeah, I mean, there's different definitions.
Yeah, there's different ones.
Yeah.
With your new your new dictionary, you always think something new.
I know.
That was old, got to be reprinted, and it's new.
I agree. The dictionary is fake news. They're always changing the words, changing the language.
Like they change the word to benefit the people that they want to benefit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
That's what I'm saying.
They even changed the definition of vaccine, and they changed the definition of bigot. They've changed the definition of so many words.
So you go with the original, I guess.
I guess, but, you know, you just go with the context and what the person actually meant. You don't just assign intent to the same word every time.
And then what happened?
It's like blackface.
Yeah, and the other guy wanted to excuse because she said it and got all kind of excuses. So do you ever hear me calling you a cracker, redneck, all those things? I just called you a Caucasian because that's the definition of what you are.
I guess, yeah.
So why can't they do that and not have their feelings?
Everybody doesn't have to be like you, Mace.
No, I didn't say not being like me. I said, why can't they not be like their grandfathers? They don't want to accept anything else they did, but they use the same words they use.
Who cares? The grandfathers did nothing wrong.
Who cares? Yeah, you say they didn't.
I mean, I'm being a little facetious, but some of the stuff that the grandfathers did is called wrong, and it's not even necessarily wrong.
Really? But
Yeah.
they want to do the same thing.
Huh?
So they want to do the same thing their grandfathers did. Because some of them are still doing the same thing they did, like Bible Go-To guy.
I know, but you got to admit, you were silly. You got to admit, you were silly and wrong to speculate the Bible Go-To guy probably spit on people because he's just that age.
He spit the other day, Jackson, with the words he uses spit on people, too, just like he said
Yeah,
the other day.
see, you're changing. Bible Go-To guy metaphorically spit on people with the words he uses. Come on.
And I'll have something for Kip. Tell him those fish bones, when he got his stimulus check, he need to pick them up over there in Atlanta and stop dropping them on the ground.
No, it's chicken bones. It's not fish bones.
He have fish bones.
What do you mean? That sounds like a slur.
No. He have fish bones that he be dropping on the ground. And tell him I hope he spend his stimulus check.
Is this some type of... I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what you're getting at.
You don't like the South, you don't understand it. You pretend you do, but you don't know nothing about the South.
Oh, come on. I do know something about the South.
You just went to visit for a week, and then you thought it was great.
It is great. I don't even have to visit. I just hear what the...
You hear.
I hear the people talk. When you hear the people talk, out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. And they're generally more Christian. You look at their voting and all that stuff. Some of the most conservative people come out of the South.
I don't believe in conservatives or liberals. So what do you tell me about those?
But by conservative, I mean the people who are for what's right, for America, for Christianity, for men, for whites, for...
Really? It's all about you.
But I'm talking about because there's a big anti-white hatred going on in the North, in the cities, including in southern cities, and in the culture. It's a communist attack on what's right. It's not because they're white. It's because the whites tend to stand for what's right. That's why the whites are under attack.
Oh, no, they stand for not ignoring what the real problem is.
Not true. You don't even know what the real problem is.
They don't want to admit it.
What's the real problem?
Well, James, would you think that was something that you heard somebody say or something that you had an opportunity to be with and to be around? Which one would we be right? If you've been there or if you just heard somebody say something about it?
I don't know.
You got a better experience, like when Holly came to visit you.
Oh, yeah.
She was talking to you on the phone. But when she came to visit you, it was a different situation.
True. You get a better impression in person. You get a better impression in person. I've spent more than a week in the South, though, Maze. You're lying about me.
So when you get rid of your disease, or you get around the people that you're always complaining about and don't know nothing about.
Look, Maze, be honest. Is the culture, by and large, willingly calling the South rednecks and all that stuff? I know you don't use that word, but the culture, by and large, is green light on so-called bigotry against the South. And you're lying if you don't admit that's true.
No, it's not.
See, you're a liar. Liar.
What?
You're a liar. Because I asked you the question, Maze. Is the South, by and large, getting the green light of so-called bigotry against them?
Really?
Yes.
And if you say, what is a redneck anyway, James? You explain that to me.
I don't even know, but it's something bad, supposedly.
If you haven't been around one, you don't know what one is.
Yes, I have been around one, and they're the best people.
What did they do? Were they harmful to people?
Nope, they're great to people. They're real Americans.
Really?
Yes.
So when you find a Proud Boy and you find the Oak Keepers and the Q people.
I have met Proud Boys before, and they're by and large excellent people, better than average.
What made you leave them?
Huh?
You said you used to be a part of them. So
no, I was never a part of them. I started to join, but I didn't finish joining because I'm lazy.
Well, what made
and I'm busy with Bond stuff.
Oh, you didn't finish.
Yeah.
Well, what drew you to them?
Because they're for family values. They're for the West, and they're for basically pro-America stuff. And they're for getting past this degeneracy stuff. They're not into getting into pornography and all that crap.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I also heard that they're a drinking fraternity. And I think that you could probably leave that aside.
So I asked you all these questions.
Yeah.
And if all of the bright people that's on Facebook and they're now typing and going on, if they had the opportunity to sit down and talk to somebody instead of talking about them, see, I like to talk to people. I don't like to talk about them. So if you got something about me and you don't know, ask me.
Okay.
Stop assuming.
Thank you.
You assume people are monkeys. Everything is up for human beings. You'll take a monkey and a dog and an animal before you take.
You know the Asians. I've heard Asians call black people monkeys more than anybody else.
You've heard.
I have never heard a white person call, except for Robert from Kansas, but he doesn't count. Other than Robert from Kansas, I've only heard Asians refer to blacks as monkeys. Did you know that? Speaking of racism, Asians and blacks don't like each other because they experience each other.
Really?
And they don't. The blacks don't like the Asians coming in. All immigrants. Well, not all of them are immigrants. Some of them have been here a while. And then the Asians don't like the blacks because they got so much criminal element and attitude and hatred and hating any. If you're non-black, you're white, and if you're white, you get the.
Why do Asians don't like Caucasian?
Because the Asians are brainwashed to hate America and believe we're racist.
So couldn't it be for the same thing that you just said about black people?
No, because whites are not as violent as blacks on the whole.
Yeah, right. And
not as violent. It's a fact.
So, yeah, it's a fact. Whose facts is it?
The truth. The real ones.
You always say what somebody said. Know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about.
Like when you read
Go find me a white ghetto.
Really?
And I'll find you 10 black ones.
You can go to the nearest trailer park.
Yeah, name one. Name a trailer park.
Right down there where you went.
And how much murder is coming out of that trailer park? And I'll name you Baltimore, Chicago, Bloomington, Memphis, New Orleans. I can name 10 different cities that are way bigger problems than any trailer park that you can name.
And what city
Thank you.
And what city has the most murderers? And it's sure not the name one you just named. Look it up and you come and give them a class on it Monday, okay?
All right.
You had none of the places that you named.
You have a good one.
You're you look it up. You have a good one, too.
All right. Just obstinate. Okay. I got to get to Fred in Los Angeles, California. He wants to comment on these Democrat gun laws. We're coming to the wire. What's up, Fred? How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing?
Doing fine, thank you.
The previous caller made me laugh, but I just kind of wanted to touch base on the Second Amendment, and I wanted to just get your opinion on this, mostly because there's like so many ways to look at it.
Okay.
But I think the purpose of the Second Amendment, I believe, it's to protect yourself as a citizen from a tyrannical government. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
So, yeah, so like, and this whole recent in the media that they're trying to ban assault weapons. I think this is a really bad situation to be in, not because of how bloody and it's catastrophic. Don't get me wrong, to go and shoot people who are innocent, just trying to live their life and everything. But
yeah,
in comparison to an event where, like, let's say the government is to try and take over or establish tyrannical rule or whatever, they will make, I guess, like mall shootings, school shootings, and spa shootings. They will make those just look like a drop in a bucket.
Yeah.
But just the fact that, and again, I'm not trying to like compare or say like one is more important than the other, because I know one dead person for gun violence is too many. But the fact that they are already trying to like ban them, and we're not at the event, and I hope we don't get to the point where we're waging war against our own government. But just the fact that they're already trying to outlaw this, the assault weapons and the rifles most commonly, I think that's a red flag. And
yeah,
you can't. Yeah, so it shouldn't be that just because some person just went out and shot somebody that everybody has to pay the price. Not that the marginal case shall apply to all cases. Like, there's many different ways to look at it. Now, there's like I guess we could say, well, the counter argument is, well, if the government wants to take over, well, how are you going to defend yourself with just an assault rifle or a shotgun? Like, these guys have tanks and all that, and there's some truth to that. But you could technically own a tank if you want, but you don't see people go around with tanks all over the place,
Yep.
Soviet Russia. But just to kind of put it in perspective, like, well, if you do ban assault weapons, well, what's going to happen? Well, they tried that in Mexico. I think there's only one place in Mexico where you could buy guns.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my brother-in-law, on one of his recent trips when he went to Mexico, he told me that he got pulled over by the cartels. I think twice. The first time it was more scary because these guys, like, they have checkpoints. They look like cops, and they are professional and very well armed.
Yeah.
And when he got pulled over, they realized that the license plates were from California, so they didn't, I guess, go harsh on him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They did ask what cartel he was from, but when they realized that they were just going to Mexico just to have a good time and things like that, and they pretty much let them go. My point is that these are the people who have guns now.
Yeah.
And these are the people who are patrolling the streets and who are establishing order according to their agenda,
right?
Their belief. And their belief is not like any regular Hispanic person's belief. Their beliefs are a lot more gnarly. Like, they don't even believe in the Catholic Church. They pray to the saint death. Like, what is that? Like, that is really, really gnarly. And I don't even but going to the gun issue, like, it sucks that like Americans are now being targeted to give up their assault rifles. I hope it doesn't go to that point. But like, what do you think? Because I know some conservatives are also like for example, I just throw in Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro, I think he made a point where he says that he's not against like, he doesn't want to ban guns, but he is, like, I guess, against like banning the feature of automatic rifles. So like anything that's automatic should be banned. I think that's BS. I think that we should get automatic guns too.
Yeah.
And we should have access to everything. Now, obviously, no one's gonna just buy everything off the market. Like I said, going back to the tanks. But like, how do you look at this? Because I guess we could say, well, we need the guns in case we have to wage war against our own government, or should we just give up the guns now just for our safety?
It's It's so dumb to think that you're going to be giving up your guns for your own safety, because the government truly does not care about your safety. They don't. They let the illegals in, They, yeah, I talked to Joe from Phoenix, Chris, thank you. They're for evil. They're for killing the babies. They are for felons getting out of jail and voting, so-called non-violent, which it includes violent felons usually. And they are for victimhood. They don't tell the truth about the black. There's nothing honest about the government. They let homelessness get out of control. They are already, honestly, a bit oppressive. And some people may go a little overboard in wanting to jump the gun and go invade. I don't think that they're being sane when they do that. But I agree with you. I don't think that they need to be, they've already banned, basically, fully automatic weapons. I don't think that that's necessary. I don't like the corporations getting into bed with the government, and because they're every bit as evil as the government, if not more in some cases, because they're run by millennials who are pushed around by the SJW employees, you know? So it's just a weak female culture, and that is a breeding ground for death and destruction. You know, the feminists blame, oh, men have done all these wars and death and all that stuff. Well, female-minded men are bringing about all this destruction and killing the babies and all that stuff, and female-minded women too. So I'm with you. We should not be giving up our guns at all. And think about it. That holds people at bay even with the tanks. Look at the Malheur Ranch and all that stuff. For one, it's really bad optics for the government to go and kill a civilian, whether they're armed or not. And in many cases, they've killed unarmed civilians. But some of these militia members have been armed and gotten killed. Lavoy Finicum, who was a passionate militia guy, pro-Constitution. And there's a lot of controversy about what the feds and the state police and the local police did with these people who they were armed and they were holed up in a federal building or something up in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm not for this notion of, oh, you're not going to beat the government anyway. No, we have our freedom and we deserve to keep our weapons. It's so ridiculous. You don't just give up everything just because you're outclassed in terms of the weaponry, because weaponry is not the only way to win a war. There's a whole PR war going on. There's a huge media information war and propaganda war and spiritual war. And the guns are part of the reality today. And so you're not going to give up. You're only going to disarm, like you said. You're disarming the good people and letting the cartels and the corrupt government have the guns. Give me a break.
And you can't blame the gun manufacturers, because in the end, they want to make a buck. And so if they can sell it to the citizens, if they get banned, and they'll gladly sell it to the thugs and everything. And just one last point that I want to make is just that just kind of look into just how, like, sometimes liberals, I noticed that they usually use the word all, A-L-L. That's a very interesting word that it just seems so, like, equality for all, rights for all, this for all. Yeah. Be careful when you hear that word, because in order for it to apply to all, it means that it has to be like an extreme measure in order for it to be applied to all.
Good point.
And that all mentality, it sounds very Soviet. I just, because everything was all there. All people were getting paid a certain way. All people were like living a certain lifestyle. So I'll be really cautious with the word all. And it's just one of those things that I just picked up recently that should be evaluated and things like that. But, very true. But anyway,
Fred, I got to run. I appreciate it, man. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Likewise. Have a great weekend, guys.
All right. See you in church or in the church chat if you're able to join us there. Take care, man.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to join. Thank you.
Great. Rick in Hampton, Virginia, and Joe in Los Angeles, and the rest of the callers, I cannot get to you. The show is over. Blacks make up 13% of the population. You can go ahead and start the music because we got to end. But 50% of the homicides, says Rock Climber with a diamond. Maze versus Bagel Karen next week, says When It Rains with the diamond. Maze, why blacks let themselves be used for degradation, asks Penny Roo. Good question. Rednecks are originally old Union heads, says Arizona lineman. Union guys that went to the South? Ah, interesting. I had an N-word slip at Fort Knox. So many blacks, said William A33. That's funny. And Rock Climber gave a diamond and said, Maze and Earl are black mess. It's actually, believe it or not, M-A-Z-E, Maze. M-A-Z-E. What a cool name, huh? Thank you guys for the support. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for JLP's stuff. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. That's right, the website is back up and running. For church with Jesse Lee Peterson every Sunday. TheFallenState.tv. The Fallen State premieres in an hour from now. It's 11:02 a.m. And of course, TheGiftedOfDance.com, JoelFridayTV.com. Thanks, guys.
Amazing.
Take care.